Hey church, Pastor Adam here. I hope you're having a great week. We had an amazing weekend at church this past weekend. We had the largest attendance that we've had since Easter, so I want to applaud you and thank you for getting back to church on a weekend that most people wouldn't come. It was great to see some new faces. Nothing at all pleases the heart of Jesus more than inviting people to church and getting them there where they can hear about Him and His Word, and it was great. This weekend we continued our series, I Don't Know What I Believe, as we're looking at our Christian beliefs and what we really believe as it's being tested in the morality of our society today. So this past weekend we looked at the word sanctified. I said we're sanctified, and a lot of us believe that. It's an old-timey word, which really just means to be set apart. God has set us apart to do His work. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 9 says that we have been saved and called to a holy life. So we've been called to a holy life. It's easy for us to believe that we're saved. But it's a totally different thing to believe that we're supposed to live holy. But we're supposed to live holy. We're supposed to live a life of holiness. And I want to give you some practical examples this week of what you can do to live that holy life and what you can do to live that out, as we talked about this past weekend. The first thing that you need to do is you need to quit living for the likes of yourself. All too often we try to do things just to please us. I know there's been plenty of times in my life, and I'm sure there's been times in your life, when you've done things that you knew were wrong just because you wanted to. You knew it would feel good. You knew you were going to like it. You did it anyway. You just liked those things. So we did it anyway. So you're living for the likes of yourself, or the things that you wanted, not the things that God wanted for you. The second thing you need to do is quit living for the likes of others. I did an example of this with the Periscope app and Jenny in the back, and I tried to get likes from other people, and we do that all the time. We put on this face, and we put on this front, and we try to be something that we're not, and people don't even know who we really, really are. So we got to quit doing that. And the last one that's a little bit harder for people to understand is we got to quit living for the likes of God. And let me explain that for a minute. We should be living a life that God likes and a life that He accepts, but we shouldn't try to do things just because it makes God like us. For instance, we shouldn't be reading our Bible just because we think it makes God like us more, but we should be reading our Bible because God has already loved us, because He's done so much for us. But we should quit living for the likes of God and try to live a life that He loves anyway, because listen, God already loves you as much as He possibly can. Some of you need to hear that. There's nothing that you can do to make God love you more than He already does. He loves you with everything in His heart. He gave His Son to die for you. So that's it, church. Quit living for the likes of yourself. Quit living for other people. And quit trying to live for a life that God likes you. Just live because He loves you already. See you next weekend.